My name is Shane, and this is my presentation on Charles Darwin. Who is Charles Darwin? Charles Darwin was an English naturalist who did extensive research on evolution and adaptation within the animal kingdom before he died on April 19th, 1882, at the age of 73. He was born on February 12th, 1809. Charles Darwin also wrote a book titled On the Origin of Species. This book is considered to be the foundation that evolutionary biology started on. Charles Darwin is mainly known for his legendary travel around the world, where he found evidence for adaptation and natural selection, theories that Darwin thought of. Darwin's voyage. Charles Darwin voided a ship named the HMS Beagle in December of 1832, not to return home for 5 years, even though he was meant to return in only 2 years. The objective of the voyage was to chart the coastline of South America. During the voyage, Darwin spent as much time as possible on land, as he was seasick for most of the trip. While he was docked, Darwin explored a lot of land, and this helped him gain a global perspective on nature. He took thousands of notes on fossils, animals, and plants. All of these notes later supported Darwin's own theory on natural selection. Survival of the fittest. Once Darwin returned home, he reviewed the notes he took on the sea and developed a theory. The theory stated that the strongest of a species survives, then the weaker die off, thus increasing the entire species' chance of survival. This is called natural selection. The 4 key principles of natural selection are overproduction, genetic variation, adaptation, and finally selection. Overproduction states that organisms sometimes create more offspring than their environment can support, because the more offspring, the better chance of survival. Genetic variation, the second principle of natural selection, explains that some offspring have different genes than their parents. Adaptation allows some members of a species to have a trait that can help or hinder them, and if it helps them, it is passed to the organism's offspring, and this is how evolution happens. Selection is the last of the 4 principles, and it means that only the strongest of a species will survive. This happens because the stronger species are better equipped to deal with the elements of their environment, and the weaker die off because they're less equipped. This principle lets the race as a whole live longer because they're all strong. Conclusion. Darwin took a trip around the world, and on this trip, Darwin took many notes on animals, plants, and fossils. With these notes, he formed a theory on natural selection, and this theory explains how creatures have evolved to adapt to their environment. I am Shane Bronin, and thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Alright, good meme.